But my dad was a bassist. I had uncles and cousins all playing, and I was the youngest at one point. So they gave me a drum, like a percussion instrument, a cowbell, conga drum, snare drums. Hey. And that was my first experience. And then at 11, switched to piano. And from there, I've been playing ever since. Well, I went to NOCA, and that's the New Orleans Center for the Creative Arts. At the same time, I was going to St. Aug. That's an academic school. So I was going there, and I was going to NOCA. And it was a great experience for me to really get the formal thing as well as playing every night after going to two schools. So it was a double duty of, I guess, experiencing music. You get these great teachers at NOCA, and then you go and play at night, and you're playing all types of shows in New Orleans, from salsa, New Orleans music, funk music, jazz, even rock gigs. I played some gigs on electric bass. And I think that, it's important to have both, especially when you're really developing your voice, you're finding yourself. Experience, there's nothing that can substitute. It's funny, I was just thinking about my important teachers and mentors coming up, one of them actually being Jon Batiste, the late clarinetist, great educator, very community-oriented guy. He was there, and he could have sought out more acclaim, I'm sure, but he was one of the guys who he cared about teaching. And, that was really he was heavily involved in my development, especially in jazz. I started playing piano when I was 11, and then when I was 13, I started studying with him. And that was like eye-opening. So there was Alvin, there was, my father was very, very influential. He was not a jazz musician, but a funk musician. And that was a whole nother side of things, because the rhythm of funk music and the danceability of that is something I like to bring into jazz. And of course, there were my uncles. All of them had a great influence on me, and my cousins who were older than I was. So it was a family affair. First paid gig. When we played, there were a lot of shows that I would do for free when I was coming up, because say yes to everything. When you start to learn how to play, can you do a circus gig? I can do it. Can you do a gig playing for like 5 sets in the bar and people are talking? I can do it. Because you're trying to learn how to play. The first paid gig was at the Children's Museum in New Orleans. And that was me and my cousins. We had a band called the Batiste Kids. And the Batiste brothers was my dad and my uncles. And that was the older generation, the family band, the official family band. And we were the young junior family band. And we played at the Children's Museum every year. And I remember the first time, that was the first paid gig, and it was like a $50 gig. And I was like, yeah, baby, we in there. We got $50. Oh, shucks. But, it's cool. I like that. I'm here today to represent the museum and to interact with the kids. They're very amazing. I mean, the spirit of a child is very pure and true. And in the interaction that we had, you could see how they haven't been tainted by anything. They were just unbridled with joy and emotion. And that expression is what jazz is all about. So for me, I'm interacting with them and teaching them as I'm learning from them.